All right, we are live at Kieran's. We're soaking up the tournament vibe. It's the Jeff Dubay Show. It's the Jeff Dubay NCHC Hockey Special. It's the Frozen Face-Off. It's at Target Center right across the street. Fan Fest is in full force right now. Crossing First Avenue. Let me let Sean Bernard out of here. Get out of here. You're in the way. You're in the way. You're interfering with progress here. Hang on. We're back live doing college hockey stuff like we used to do. And Josh Fenton is just walking in. He's the commissioner of the NCHC. We're going to set him up at a microphone here. Hey, Josh, come on in. How you doing? Good to see you. Oh, yeah, look what I got. 0.6. They love this. They love this in here. 0.6. I got the picture. Oh, they hate me. I love it. I feed off of it.
What's the score in that Big Ten game? Has it started?
It has not started. The Gophers start at 3:30. Is it 3:30 Central, I believe? But it's either 4:30 or 3:30. Josh Fenton joins. Josh is the commissioner of the NCHC. Josh, give me a little sound check there. Can we hear you?
Test 1 2.
Oh, we got you. We got you. It's good to meet you in person.
Good to meet you.
And then we talked on the phone a couple of weeks ago. I mean, I know you're a Minnesota guy. You're a guy with a hockey and golf background, right? I mean, a little bit. But you spent some time in Miami of Ohio, and now you're out of Colorado Springs. And I know you're the commissioner of the NCHC, and it's just a baby, but it's kind of a bully of a baby. I mean, it's in its second year, but not only does it boast the strength of college hockey. I mean, it's the strongest conference in the country. There's just no debating it. But I have to say, I mean, this pains me a little bit. I mean, you know where my allegiances are. I got the M on my chest right here.
You're wearing your Minnesota M.
Well, because we're going to sit at the bar and watch the game, the Gophers after the program today, and North Dakota on one TV, Gophers on the other TV. We get the best of both worlds. It pains me to say this, but this is the green and black North Dakota. It is the most rabid fan base in college hockey. I mean, the XL Energy Center is in our backyard, and for that rink to get split 50-50 back in the WCHA days, I think that says something.
Yeah, no question. I mean, North Dakota fans certainly show up, very passionate, support their team. As you know very well, if you go to a game at Ralph Engelstad Arena, it doesn't matter who they're playing. There's 11,000, 12,000 people in there. That's a testament to their fans, and obviously they're here in Minneapolis today and tomorrow, and we look forward to having them be loud in the venue and making a great atmosphere.
Excuse my ignorance on this, but does this tournament feature a third-place game? And I'm not saying,
does,
okay.
yeah,
and that has nothing to do with North Dakota. I'm not making any hints here.
Yeah, no, it does.
Because the Big Ten tournament does not, I believe.
It doesn't. You know, and college hockey conferences have kind of gone away from it, and when we put this thing together, we put it in because we wanted to give fans that come down for the Frozen Face-Off weekend a little bit more hockey to watch.
Sure.
You know, we don't have any games on Thursday, and so 2 semifinals, a third place in a championship game. And
sure.
So it gives fans an opportunity to watch a little bit more hockey. And, you know, the one team, St. Cloud State, they are playing for a lot right now.
Yeah, they are.
They're in the tournament, but they've got to, I think, win one game.
They're on the bubble.
In the tournament.
Well, here's the nice thing that you guys have going for you as a league. You're playing teams. I mean, your teams are playing. I mean, I know that they beat up on each other, and that's a little bit of a catch-22, but they're playing teams that are high in the pairwise, so they help themselves. I mean, the teams come here with a great opportunity to boost themselves. Conversely, Minnesota's off in the Big Ten tournament. I think the highest-ranked pairwise team they can play is like 20th. Or I mean, there's no helping yourself.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a testament to the team. So Jeff, we won a 671 non-conference winning percentage.
That's awesome.
So 671 is almost 100 points higher than any other conference in college hockey. That's why you see 5 teams in the top 8. That's why you see St. Cloud with about a 500 record knocking on the door to get in and make it 6 teams in the tournament.
Well, I mean, Duluth was on the road last week, and they were third in the pairwise at the time.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, they're not here. That's just the strength of the conference. But this is something that we talked about a lot when we put the conference together, and we talked about scheduling philosophy. And we said to the member institutions, we firmly believe that the math behind the pairwise says that if you win the bulk of your games out of conference, and you're playing strong competition, and you're winning those games, we're going to prop up the entire conference, and it's proof this year.
Well, and when you look at one of the comparisons, I mean, the pairwise is all about comparisons and flipping comparisons in your favor. One of them is record versus common opponent. So if you go out and you beat a team from Hockey East, I mean, you guys have a full, conference. You got a lot of conference games. The Big Ten different; they have a lot of non-conference games. But if you have a limited amount of non-conference games, and you go out and beat a team from the Big East, those wins right there are enough to flip so many comparisons because these other Big East teams will play that team. Let's say you go out and let's say North Dakota goes out and beats BU in November. Now every team that BU beats in Hockey East is going to be a comparison for North Dakota in terms of record versus a common opponent.
Right.
I mean, it's just you flip so many, just the non-conference games, and that non-conference play is huge.
Or huge. And that's why, historically and traditionally, college hockey, whether it was the WCHA of old or the CCHA of old, they were both of them were right at 28 conference games.
Mm-hmm.
And Hockey East was right at 28
they
conference
interlocked
games.
schedules for a while, too.
Yeah, and so look at how many games the Big Ten plays, 20 in the conference. We play 24. Hockey East now plays 22.
Boy, that's a lot of room for games.
And so now you got some
scheduling.
room for non-conference games, but you have to win the non-conference games.
You do.
If you don't win the non-conference games, then it's not going to help you. So it's turned out in our favor this year. It certainly likely would change in the future, but for this year we'll take it.
Yeah, it's everything's gone. Just other than the fact that you maybe didn't get the attendance, the teams that you needed for attendance here last year. Other than that, the first 2 years of this league, it's gone exactly the way you wanted it, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, I mean, we've kind of built ourselves to creating an event in and of itself, beyond the 4 hockey games that take place. And that's what we said from day one, is that we want people to come down, socialize in a place like this where you're broadcasting.
Isn't this
today.
awesome?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I came into it just got my blood flowing. Yeah,
and how about the city of Minneapolis? We closed for half of First Avenue between 6th Street and 7th
awesome.
Street.
It is.
To put on a fan fest right in front of Target Center. And the bands are over there playing, the cheerleaders are over there, fans are enjoying some beverages, some games, and just socializing.
And I keep bringing up, I don't mean to bring up your rival conferences, but I do it in terms of comparison that what you've got here. The Big Ten, the WCHA. What I miss are these great outings we had in St. Paul for the Final Five. I mean, I'm a Gopher fan. Yeah, we'd get together, North Dakota, St. Cloud, Duluth, Denver. We'd have these Colorado College, great events. I'm sure you've attended some of them.
Absolutely.
And I miss the hell out of it. And it's never going to be the same for me personally, because now we're in the Big Ten, which is scattered all. I mean, hell, the Big Ten goes to the Eastern Seaboard, for God's sake. But I mean, to come here today. I'm walking up 6th, right alongside the Target Center. I get to First Ave, and I take a look to my right. The road's blocked off. You've got the North Dakota band is playing, the school's fight song. You got all the Rubes in green and black are cheering and screaming. You get across the street here, and you walk into Kieran's, and it's to the door with green and black, a little black and red sprinkled in. I mean, I feel like I'm back in St. Paul for a Final Five. I mean, you guys have captured it, and I didn't think it could ever get. Be recaptured, but I think you guys are capturing it.
Well, I appreciate that, and we got a long ways to go, no question about it. But that goes back to my point of that has to be an event. If it's just about putting on hockey games, I don't think that does enough for fans these days. We have to create an event. Now, ultimately, the product on the ice is why they're here and what they love to come watch. And so the product on the ice will take care of itself.
Yep.
We need to create an event that people want to come and enjoy themselves.
Well, and you've got, speaking of the on-ice product, you've got 2 really fun matchups today. I mean, North Dakota St. Cloud is the one that I think people in this area wanted to see because of the proximity and the familiarity. I mean, nothing against Nebraska Omaha. It's a good up-and-coming program, and you were wise to include them when you put your conference together. But, there's a lot of people in the metro that have a closeness to St. Cloud State, whether they be alums or just fans of the program. I personally am a close friend of Bob Motzko. Love to see his success. And obviously, North Dakota. I mean, it's if it's not the premier program in college hockey, it's on the short list of 3 or 4. And it's I would say the flag bearer for your conference right now, if there is a big fish in that big pond, it's North Dakota. So you got the matchup that you wanted in this one. Miami Denver, you've got 2 teams in the top 5 of the pairwise, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
So that might even be the better game, to be honest with you. If you're just from a pure hockey competitive standpoint, you just want to see the better game. Miami Denver might be your better game, but I mean this is the fun one.
And that's a rematch of last year's title.
Yeah.
Miami Denver, and so we couldn't ask for a better script. You're right. The North Dakota St. Cloud rivalry is deep. And it gets renewed here again on Friday afternoon at the Frozen Face-Off. But the Miami-Denver game will be an exciting one as well. And, it's just going to be a great weekend, Jeff. And I'm just happy that everybody could come down and take part in it, and that you guys are here broadcasting from Kieran's.
I might ask you a favor, actually, when this show ends, because I don't have a media credential, but I want to meet Starman. I mean, I've had him on the show twice, and we've had a great, repertoire, repartee back and forth, talking college hockey. Very few people can just bullshit college hockey like Starman or
He's
myself.
Good.
And we've had a blast. And
Yeah,
I
he's
just want to go up and shake his hand, say hi, and just do a face-to-face. Can you sneak
Yeah.
me in a back door or something after the
we
show?
can work that out.
All right.
You got my number. We can work that out.
I hope he doesn't get mad, though. I gave his phone number to my brothers. Since I had his cell phone. So I just thought, some night, you're at a Frozen 4, you're at the bar, you've had a few, you're having some debate with some North Dakota fan who's getting under your skin. I told my brother, here's what you do. You pull out your phone and say, screw this, I'm going to settle this. I'm calling Starman. And the instant credibility, all the rubes would just be like, oh, he's calling Starman.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Well,
He studies
Yes.
a lot.
Oh, God.
A lot. I mean, I saw those guys this morning, and they had their sheets in front of them and their notes, and they were here all day yesterday interviewing players, coaches. They're ready to go. They're very, very prepared. CBS.
Who is the play-by-play guy?
Ben Holden.
Yeah, I mean, he's good. He's very
good. He's
Yes.
out of Michigan, but he's very, very good. And then the rink side is Shireen Sasky. That's Dave's wife.
Yes. And she did CCHA stuff for years.
Yeah.
I remember her on Fox Detroit.
She's won a few Michigan Emmys before, so she's very good as well.
It's funny because for years and years, I mean, I'm a little different when it comes to college hockey. I mean, I got a satellite dish back in the day, Dish Network, because I wanted to have the Fox Sports package.
Sure.
I wanted to see Nesson.
Right,
I wanted to see Altitude.
Fox Sports Detroit.
I wanted to see Fox Rocky Mountain, Fox Detroit. I wanted to see CCHA. I mean, on my Friday nights, just short of loser I am. I mean, it would start, like at 6 o'clock with a Hockey East game on Nesson, and then maybe 6:30 you work into the CCHA. With like Freddie Pletch, who's on the Big Ten Network now, and Shireen Sasky. I can't even pronounce her name. And then you get into a Gopher game, and then Fox Rocky Mountain or Altitude, whatever would have it. Throw a Denver game on, Denver CC, whatever. I couldn't find Alaska. I couldn't get like a 10 o'clock game. You don't get a lot of TV.
You would have watched though if you would have found it.
It's hard to get that TV out of Anchorage. That was a rare bird. But I mean, guys like Starman, I've been seeing him, up and down the dial. WKRP, town to town, up and down the dial for years. I mean, he's been everywhere.
Yeah, he's great. He's great, and I say this not lightly. There's a lot of people that do great broadcasts in hockey in general, not just college hockey.
Absolutely.
I put CBS right at the top of the list.
Absolutely.
If anybody watches the production, never mind the talent. The talent's awesome.
Yes,
just watch
the
production and the way they produce a game. We have a producer that's worked 6 or 7 Stanley Cup finals as a producer.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, a guy by the name of Carlos D. Molina. He's incredible. And so the production quality is outstanding for CBS Sports Network with hockey.
Now, the college hockey it's a changing animal, and nobody would know that more than you, being the commissioner of the most powerful conference right now. But I mean, when you formed and you picked your teams, how did you want to handle TV rights? I mean, in the old days of the WCHA, I mean, they were fortunate that one of their flagship programs, Minnesota, was in a major market, and they had a major media outlet, Fox Sports Net, that wanted to carry them. And I was lucky enough to be a part of the broadcast for a couple of years. It was a lot of fun until I yelled at a referee, got myself in a little hot water. But that's another story. That's Don. Was that Don Adam? It wasn't Don Adam. It was
Don Adams, our director.
It wasn't Don Adam. I used to get on Don Adams' case. No, it's the guy who's the director of officials in. I forget. It wasn't Don Adam. But I've gotten on Don Adams' case too in the past. But Don Lucia used to always tell me that Don was a really good official. I shouldn't say this. I'm going to tell tales out of school. He says a really good official, but he just sometimes didn't give you this. He just said if he would just give you the straight scoop, if he just look you in the eye and tell you exactly what he saw, he'd feel better about it. But he said Don, sometimes he felt like he wasn't getting the straight scoop from Don on the ice. But as a director of officials,
he's doing tremendous now for us.
I didn't mean to drag him through the mud. I just think it's interesting, the coach referee dynamic sometimes, because they're guys that they think have a real good acumen for the game. And there are also guys that they think maybe don't feel the game, but then there's guys that they think are really good, honest people, and the guys who they just don't know what they're getting from them. It just always was an interesting dynamic for me personally. But back to what we were talking about, the changing landscape of hockey. When you put this conference together, I mean, you got the network, you got CBS, you got CBS Sports Network. I mean, what went into to deciding that, and how do the individual teams feel about just having a game of the week, and rather than having teams with their individual TV deals?
So a big part of it was national exposure. How could we widely expose our programs across the country? And CBS Sports Network, dating back to the days, you'll remember this. CSTV.
Oh yeah,
CBS
Sports
College.
TV. Starman was on that.
Oh yeah, CBS College Sports, and then CBS Sports Network. they've done hockey for a long time, college hockey. And so they have a big familiarity of it. It has a place within their network repertoire. Obviously, they've got some big properties like college basketball, the Masters, the PGA Tour, all that good stuff.
Sure.
But they came to the table when we met with them 2 years before the conference got going, starting play, to put together a television deal that made sense for us, made sense for them, and it's been a great marriage, and we look forward to continuing the marriage long into the future. But to your point about the game of the week,
yes,
I mean that is something that really fans enjoy. Every Friday night, from pretty much the first of the year to the end of the year, you're going to find a game on CBS Sports Network, and it's going to be a great hockey game. And everybody's going to know that it's on, and whether it's a North Dakota St. Cloud or a Miami-Denver game, it's Friday night hockey on CBS Sports Network, and that's what we've tried to brand, and that's what we've tried to help them build. And it's just helped us overall with the conference in terms of developing our brand.
What about things being available online? I know a lot of North Dakota fans, and I watch. To be honest with you, I've gotten to the point where I watch almost all my television, all my sports online.
So we got a great solution for you. So this year we created our own digital network, NCHC.TV.
Okay.
And it was launched back in the fall prior to the start of the season. And we streamed over, I think it was right around 115 live events throughout the course of the year. But the difference, Jeff, is that it wasn't just a bunch of live streams. It was a fully aggregated digital network. So you could come and become a subscriber, watch all the live content, but then you could also watch, and this was free.
So it's like studio stuff too?
Studio stuff, immediate highlight packages that were done from the games,
Very
condensed games. So we put
that's
together
awesome.
A condensed game.
That's awesome.
And then weekly features, so press conferences. Some schools do a little bit more video features during the week, and they have the ability to upload those. So it's a one-stop shop to see anything and everything about the NCHC. And then we do our own features. We do a Goals of the Week. We do an Inside the NCHC feature, and that runs for roughly 17, 18 weeks during the course of the year.
Okay.
We have a contest going right now. All of our goals of the week, we take all of our top goals of the week, and we pit them against each other on a bracketed tournament in a Goals of the Year competition.
Oh, that's awesome. And then people vote online?
Oh, and they vote online through our website, NCHChockey.com.
And you've got the fan base that's going to get involved in stuff like that.
So it just kind of gets them excited and gets them involved.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And is there like a subscription fee for all this? Or?
So all the live content is subscriber-based, but all of the video on demand or archive content, highlights, condensed games, that's free to fans.
Oh, that's awesome. What's the website?
NCHC.TV.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Easy to remember.
I got some people I gotta fill in on that.
Next year we'll hook you up. You let me know and we'll get you a subscription.
And I will. I'll also put that link out on my Twitter account to get more people involved in that.
Right now we've got some subscriptions for next year available at this year's prices.
Oh, that's awesome. And the price is
$89.95
for the whole year.
115 plus games.
$89.95. That's awesome. That's awesome. So
access to all content. Now we have some blackout restrictions. Games on CBS Sports Network are not able to be streamed and whatnot. But
sure. And basically, what I wound up doing is, you can get, like cable, like Xfinity or Dish Network. You can get those packages on your laptop. So I mean, that's what I wound up doing. Is get like Dish Anywhere, and just watch it right on, watch it that way.
And we feel as though rights fees, the world of rights fees with college sport properties live within the multi-sport conferences, and it's driven by college football, and then a little bit of men's basketball. There's no rights fees involved in any other live program. Now maybe that will change in the future. So what we've created with NCHC TV is this quote-unquote over-the-top service to drive some rights fees.
Okay.
We generate some revenue because it's subscription-based.
So when you say there's no rights fees, you're telling me all those years Fox Sports didn't pay anything to Go for Hockey on the air?
They pay. There's regional rights fees.
Oh, regional. Okay.
Regional rights fees. So Minnesota,
that's way over my head.
Minnesota was commanding rights fees, certainly.
That's what I thought.
North Dakota commands rights fees from Midco.
Sure.
But on the national level, very, very, very little.
Now I don't want to bust your chops here about. I mean, you already put together the big dog the big dog conference in college hockey. But have you thought about expansion? And the reason I ask is, what's going to happen like with a program like Arizona State? Is that attractive to people?
Oh, I think so. I mean, that's a very prolific institution in our country, one of the greatest world-renowned research institutions.
Party school. Woo!
And they have some fun down there as well. Exactly. And so
Chad Urban.
It's good for college hockey to expand our geographic footprint because college hockey, as you know, is a niche and regionalized sport.
Yeah.
And so if we can expand in general, that's a good thing. What they're doing right now, I think their focus is on some internal specific things related to facility, figuring out what they're going to do there.
They've got resources.
Yeah, they do. And when the time is right, they'll figure out what's best for them in terms of conference affiliation.
Yeah. Well, so you have no expansion plans?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about membership, and I mean this very sincerely. We talk about membership in a very kind of vague way. What adds value to the conference? We have 8 member institutions right now. We believe those 8 member institutions add and bring a lot of value. Every one of them brings little different pieces of value in different manners. So if you're going to look at expansion, whether it's Arizona State or anybody else out there, you got to measure it against the metrics of what's going to add value.
Because I mean, there's expense involved as well.
If you go from 8 to 9 to 10 to more, that quote unquote divides the pie more.
Sure, it
dilutes the membership.
There's a lot of travel expense too there too.
Yeah, so there's certain things that have to be figured out. And we really kind of ground our thought process in added value.
Well, and how much more complicated is it that you've got a conference where the schools are member institutions of other conferences? I mean, in other sports. I mean, the Big Ten, it's the whole conference, and everything seems to be changing because of television. And again, these are things that are beyond my grasp. Is why I'm not a commissioner. One of many reasons I'm not a commissioner of a conference. But I used to always hear people say things like, well, how come you don't? If the Big Ten's expanding, why don't they go get Iowa State? Why don't they get somebody who's geographically makes sense? And it's like, no, you don't get it. We've got Iowa. The footprint includes Iowa.
Right.
I mean, when people say, well, what are you doing with Rutgers? Well, Rutgers gives you the biggest TV market in the world.
New York City.
I mean, the Gopher hockey team is on in New York City. Right. I mean, when you get Maryland, you get Baltimore, you get DC.
Yeah.
When you get Penn State, you get Philly, you get Pittsburgh. I mean, the Big Ten. I mean. The SEC is obviously the football power, and they'll forever print money based on rednecks going down and watching football. But I got to believe every conference in the country has a certain amount of envy for the TV markets that the Big Ten was able to go out and secure, and by securing them, securing the future of the conference. Now the Big Ten doesn't get rated the way the Big 12 got rated, or the way the Southwest Conference got completely taken apart. But what are your challenges when you've got schools that are in other conferences for other sports? It's not the Big Ten.
Well, I mean, I think it kind of goes back to this point of hockey's still a very niche and regionalized sport. It isn't to the point where multi-sport conferences across the country are supporting hockey as one of their sports. The Big Ten is,
but you want to spread it, but you don't want to be you want to spread it, but you don't want to be the pioneer either, do you?
So I think what Arizona State would love to see, and I think what the Pac-12 would love to see, is Pac-12 hockey someday.
That'd be really cool.
So can we get to the point of Pac-12 hockey? I think that's a long ways away.
Yeah.
The resource commitment to add a program like hockey, especially, Jeff, when the focus is on football, and a little men's basketball right now.
Right.
Because right now that's where the rights fees are being driven.
Well,
I don't know if it's on the radar.
But it's really what's really tricky about it. But where I got to believe the biggest expense comes from is the facility, because I mean, you look at like Ohio State, for instance. I mean, they've got a phenomenal facility, but it's god awful for hockey. I mean, it's a 18 to 20,000. I mean, I was there for the Frozen Four in 2005.
Yeah.
It's a great facility. It's an NBA quality facility, but it's built for large crowds and basketball. I mean, Kohl Center too, to a certain extent. But the Kohl Center, at least when Wisconsin's good, they'll put crowds. They put crowds in there.
Right.
But when you've got a team, hang on, I accidentally messed up with the computer. Hang on 1 second. I might have messed up.
By the way, I got about 5. Okay, 5 minutes.
Oh, then you got to run?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, no problem. No
Sorry.
problem. I just want to. I don't want to. Okay, there we go. We're back. We're good. I keep putting the tickets on the computer, and the computer controls the show. I apologize for that little glitch.
Sorry about that.
No, as a matter of fact, we can wrap the show up and just do a 30-minute thing, and I can meet the Starman. But unless Rob has another guest he wants to throw on. That's the beauty of podcasting. We make this up as we go along. Like people say, what time's the show? I say, well, whenever I get there.
Right.
It's like, I can't be late. It's when I get there.
Right.
But just back to the landscape of college hockey.
Sure.
And then the expense that goes into it. One thing that you got to love about your league, and was this maybe part of your selection process when you're picking out teams, is they have good facility situations. I mean, they got rinks that are not just nice, but they're size appropriate. I mean, they're just
very much so.
Yeah, I mean, and they don't even have to be brand new or state of the art. They can be good character rinks. I mean, but they're just good, fun places where the ticket is got some value to it. I mean, Western Michigan's not playing in a palace. but they're playing in a size-appropriate, program-appropriate rink where the ticket is valuable.
And 3,500 to 4,000 screaming fans every weekend.
Yes. That's better than 18,000 with 3,000 in there.
Beyond the point of facility, I think what we've been able to create, and it's a credit to the member institutions because they've got great hockey programs, is that when teams go into other venues each and every weekend, it's a pretty memorable weekend for that particular location. So whether it's North Dakota traveling to Western Michigan or Denver going to Miami or St. Cloud State going down to Omaha, those markets get excited for the matchups.
Sure.
And so people show up and buy tickets and they fill the building and it's exciting. And frankly, it's the atmosphere that student athletes deserve to compete in front of night in and night out.
Now, when they talk about the Big Ten, this will be my last thing for you. They talked about you got to build new rivalries. The Minnesota-North Dakota is going away. At least it's not going to be the same. They're not in the league. So they talk about Minnesota-Michigan is going to build into a rivalry. Minnesota-Wisconsin is an existing rivalry. What about your league? What in 2 years are you getting a feel for where there's some bad blood starting to form? Can you get a feel for where there's a little an ember here that if we stoke it a little bit could turn into a flame?
No, I think we've got great rivalries. I think some continuing from WCHA, whether you want to talk about the game we got this afternoon with North Dakota St. Cloud. Certainly throw Duluth into the mix with either of those two teams. I will tell you, North Dakota Omaha's got something going pretty special, and then a couple new ones that have developed. You've got Miami and North Dakota. You've got Duluth and Western Michigan have started to develop a bit of a rivalry.
Yeah,
obviously
really?
The Denver.
That's interesting.
It is. Their battles.
Is Western in the Uper?
No, it's in Kalamazoo.
Okay.
So in the west side of the lower part.
Okay. Yep. I mean, Duluth always has a natural thing with Michigan Tech or anybody up in the
Northern
I lied to you. One last one. How hard was it for you to not take a Minnesota State or a Ferris State or even a Michigan Tech? Established programs that have been around, and I got to believe they wanted in. I got to believe Minnesota State especially wanted in.
Well, I mean, this goes back to 2011 when athletic directors got together and there was no commissioner and there was no conference at this point and discussed what was important to have when forming the conference. And they talked about kind of four key things. Number one was institutional commitment to hockey at the highest level, winning conference championships and national championships. Are they committing to the program to do that?
Sure.
National exposure. What are the programs that can help us with national exposure? History and tradition. And then competitiveness of the program. Those are the four things that the athletic directors talked about when they put the programs together. And frankly, that's kind of why the teams came together that they did.
And who did it start with? Whose brainchild was this?
Well, I mean, the initial six that were announced in July of 2011 were Denver, CC. I'll work from west to east. Denver, CC, Omaha, North Dakota, Duluth, and Miami.
Now, you're very geographically sound. You got that. You did it just right.
I do that a lot. And then St. Cloud and Western Michigan came along 2 months later.
Sure. Well, good additions.
Yeah.
And you're open to expansion, but not seeking expansion.
Yeah, I mean,
to wrap it up,
we're not out there certainly seeking it, but we certainly have conversations about it.
I keep saying one last question, but ticket sales, how's it been? I mean, has it been good?
Yeah.
You got a good crowd today?
We've got a good crowd today. We'll have a good crowd tomorrow, and it'll be a fun atmosphere in there.
Good.
Well,
I'm excited. I want to thank you for the opportunity to work with you guys. It's been a blast.
It
really has.
Thanks for promoting us, and thanks for doing everything in the last month here.
We've done our best. It's fun because we're inventing this.
Yes.
Podcast. It's just invented as we go. But thanks. I'd love to work with you guys in the future. It's been a lot of fun.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. That's Josh Fenton. He is the commissioner of the NCHC. I recognize this guy. Here you go. Here you go, Rich. How you doing? It's good to see you. And you must be the daughter. Nice. Come step up here. I got to show you something. I want to show you guys something. I mean, since I handed you some tickets, I got to at least do this to you. 0.6. Suck it, Rich Swenson.
Thanks, Puffy.
I'm just messing with you. Just North Dakota Rube has just sat down here. A Facebook friend of mine and a Woodbury resident, right?
Yeah.
So you're still kind of one of us. But I just had the commissioner on. We're just about to wrap things up here. But how cool is this? I mean, when the Final Five went away, when the WCHA went away, I thought, this is what we're going to miss. But then I got here today, and I'm out on First Ave, and like the North Dakota band is playing, and Rubes are getting the fight song, and they're in here drinking up, and I mean this feels like St. Paul again, doesn't it?
It's perfect. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a great game with St. Cloud. They're playing well.
Yeah.
Should be a lot of fun, and there's more people in this bar than is at the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, the Big Ten tournament's a joke. I mean, but even last year when the Gophers played here, I mean, they played at the X, not here. I mean, over in St. Paul against Ohio State. What, they have 6,000? I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Nor did the Gopher fans show up for the other games.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I was really disappointed that some Michigan fans didn't show up last night to watch Michigan-Wisconsin.
They didn't travel.
To Detroit. How far is Detroit from Ann Arbor? Less than an hour, right?
40 minutes.
I mean, come on. That's not even travel. I mean, you drove that far, for God's sake, from Woodbury.
Tonight will be a big thing out there with Michigan State to see if they show up.
It will be.
I don't think they will.
I don't think so either. I mean, there was a day, like late 80s, early 90s, maybe even the late 90s, where college hockey meant a little more in the state of Michigan than it means now.
Unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever get back to the heyday of the fun of 19,000 downtown St. Paul.
It's sad. Only in the Frozen Four. We'll still get it at Frozen Fours, wherever that Frozen Four may be. I mean, this year in Boston, but that what we had was pretty special, and it's just I don't think it's ever going to be like that again.
Well, there's a reason all the other leagues came to the WCHA tournament to see why it was being done right.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it was perfect.
I'm not even sure that, with all due respect to the people who ran it, I'm not sure that they even did anything right. I mean, they were lucky enough to have the two most rabid fan bases in college hockey. And in all fairness, I mean, you guys had to travel to split that rink 50-50. So, I mean, I got to tip my hat a little bit to that kind of loyalty.
We show up, and we show up big. It's
yeah,
always
and you annoy the hell out of it. I mean, what's funny is, I'm just giving you guys a hard time. But we used to always, it seems like it always would fall, as it did again this year, on or near St. Patrick's Day. So, like, when I was at the Fan with PA, we'd be doing the show. We'd be at the Liffey or McGovern's. We'd be somewhere around the X. And there were a couple of times where the first day of the tournament, semifinal day of the tournament, whatever, was St. Patrick's Day. So, you just got waves of intoxicated people wearing green, and I couldn't tell the North Dakota fans from the Irish people. I know who the revelers were and who the hockey fans were. It was just
the same sometimes.
You just got the streets flowed with green beer vomit, and I didn't know who was to blame. It was you people or the St. Patrick's Day revelers.
Hopefully this tournament makes it and keeps growing, and we appreciate your attention to it, Jeff.
And my only regret is I don't have tickets for you for tomorrow. If I did, I'd hand them over to you.
I'll work on it.
Well, thanks for coming. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Have fun, guys. Thanks for coming. We're going to wrap it up. That's going to do it from the I almost said the Liffey. We're at Kieran's. We are at Kieran's Irish Pub, downtown Minneapolis. We are across the street from the XL Energy Center. What a great day of hockey coming up. The NCHC semifinals, the early game, St. Cloud State, North Dakota. And I'm telling you, if you're listening to this live, that there's a hell of a crowd. What's up?
We're high-fiving you.
Oh, but you're North Dakota fan.
Get your way back up.
Oh, I'm trying. That's my mom, yeah. That's my mom.
Love you, Mom. Although we're UNC fans.
I know, but did you see this? 0.6.
Well, that's not happening this year. That's not happening.
Well,
Just so you know.
the Gophers might not make the tournament. They might not even be in there.
Exactly. So then what?
I know.
So then what?
Well, take one with mine. Take mine with mine, and I'll send it to you. Here, it's not that hard. Here, I can even do a selfie. It'll be like the Academy Awards.
I don't want to,
Do you want a selfie? Or do you want to just have somebody take it? See, there we are. Right there. Here, get the microphone so people know what we're doing. Okay, ready? Now, who do I send that to? Now, let me make sure it's good. This is all on air, by the way.
I'm so sad my husband's
Oh, it's kind of dark. What do you think? Is it good enough? Or should we do another one? Is that too dark?
Actually, that's pretty fucking good.
Okay, good. I'll send it to you. Who am I sending it to?
701.
I'm going to send it with a text message to your phone. Oh, here's another one. Look over here. All right. I hope you didn't get my gap tooth. Okay. Here, go ahead and put your own phone number in there and send it to yourself. Okay. We got more pictures. Oh, Jesus Christ! Take the picture. I'm on the air here. Jesus Christ! Does she know what she's doing?
Your mom is fucking awesome.
So she's a kind of a dingbat when it comes to trying to take a picture. But we're going to wrap it up. That's it from Kieran's. Thanks to everybody who's listened. If you've listened live, and you want to have a chance to soak up some atmosphere. This tournament's fantastic. They got First Avenue shut down in front of the Target Center. They got the Fan Fest going on. You're going to have two great games today. North Dakota St. Cloud in the early game. Miami of Ohio and Denver. Here, you got to hit send. You got it there. It has been sent to your phone. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. So, thank you. Thank you. So, I appreciate it. But are you from North Dakota or are you from here? Yeah, you drove down? Okay. Well, I know. Trust me. I know you people. I know. Any excuse to get out of Grand Forks, right? Minot. My family comes from Bottineau. Hey, come here. Shut this down. Sean, we're ending the show. I need somebody to push stop. Okay, here comes Sean. I'm wrapping the show up. I'm just wrapping the show up now. It's 35 minutes. It's long enough. We had Josh Fenton on. So I'm just saying goodbye to everybody. Thanks to everybody for listening if you listen live. Get down here and check out the games. Tickets at the Target Center box office. Hi, Sean.
We got live band karaoke going on tonight, too. Jim Suhan
Yes.
will be over at O'Gara's.
O'Gara's.
Check that out.
And you've
as
got
well.
don't you have a band in town that you're promoting as well?
Yeah, we have a band that's in town. They're called Out With The Old. They'll be at Mill City Nights tonight. There's still some tickets available for that.
Awesome.
Go watch their live stream on our Alive and Social Twitter page, which is at Alive and
Did
Social.
they perform at the house?
They performed at the house.
At
today. It
Southside?
was really cool. Yeah,
So
we
I
did a live video
so
stream.
well I'll go online and I'll
retweet
that. Yeah, I will for sure. So they were on the Twin Cities Hit Show.
They were on Twin Cities Hit
Twin
Show,
Cities
and
Hit
then
Show.
we had them
Okay.
live after that.
Oh, so it's separate.
Yep,
It's a separate.
deal.
Okay, it's a separate deal. Okay, I'll find it and I'll
Using
retweet that.
technology.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody for listening, and come down and enjoy some great hockey this weekend. The NCHC Frozen Face-Off. At one point,